What's up, guys? Jean here with ADVMoto, and we are here in South Africa. We are guests of Husqvarna Motorcycles here, and they flew us down here to test ride this, which is the all-new Husqvarna Norden 901 Expedition.
All right, guys, here we go. The first thing you're going to notice on this bike is the power. This is the LC8C, the same parallel twin engine you're going to find in the 890 and the baseline 901. And I gotta say, I don't know when a 900cc twin with 105 horsepower became mid-size, but here we are. I think this engine makes fantastic power, really great torque. It's nothing arm yanking. It builds power in a really progressive and useful way. And of course, that's very important, especially when you're in off-road areas. It's exciting to have a punchy, revvy motor, but I think it's a lot more useful to have a motor that's going to put the power down in the right way at the right time, and I think this motor does a fantastic job of that. After spending a little time on this bike, I don't hesitate to tell you that the standout feature is definitely the chassis. And I think that's so important on any bike because there's a lot you can alter in terms of power and accessories, but you can't really change the geometry of a motorcycle. So for that reason, this is an outstanding choice. And it's the same frame as the 890, 890R and the baseline Norden, but where this differs from the baseline Norden is in the suspension. This is the up-spec suspension. This is the WP 48mm Explore fork, as opposed to the 43mm Apex fork that comes on the standard Norden. And what that is, you're going to have a little bit more travel suspension. It's up to 9.4 inches on both ends. And it's also just the thickness and rigidity of the fork tubes themselves is going to add more rigidity to the ride, a little bit more responsive, and just much more capable off-road. And that also really is what blew me away off-road on this bike. I come from an off-road and motocross background and was just really delighted at this bike, the way that it handles in the dirt. It definitely has that big dirt bike feel. It doesn't feel like a big bike in the dirt, if that makes sense. Especially the way that front end stays so planted, coming through turns and stuff. It doesn't feel like it wants to push through the turns. Even on some of the off-road trails that we got on earlier, we got on some pretty narrow double track, I would call it. And man, we were riding these things like they were enduro bikes. I was really surprised at how light the feel was at the bar. I was not death gripping and trying to wrestle the bike from one direction to the other. I felt like I could just such a light, precise touch on the front end, and almost like I'm steering with my feet because the center of gravity is so low that no matter how squirrely you get or whatever, you just put your feet out and it just doesn't tip. And I don't want to jinx myself because now that I said it, I'm probably going to tip. This has the 6-axis IMU. It also has the ride-by-wire throttle, so that results in a pretty extensive electronics suite on board. And if you were wondering which specific electronics it has, the short answer is all of them. There's nothing spared here. Husqvarna, this is, obviously the premier brand within the Austrian group, and this is their flagship adventure bike. So nothing is held back here. There's nothing you need to go to the dealership and pay extra to have them turn on. It has all the bells and whistles you could ask for. And I don't know if you're at all like me. Sometimes the electronic suites that come on today's adventure bikes are so complex that they're a little bit overwhelming. You have I call it the traction triangle. You got to dial in engine modes, ABS, and traction control and figure out, how to get the best ride out of this. But fortunately, this bike, or most of them, have these preset modes. And this model in particular has street, off-road, and rain. And what these are, this is Husqvarna decided this is what the best combination is in general for these particular conditions that you might be riding in. So that's always a really great place to start. It's a safe place to start, and that's what I did for most of the ride here in Africa. I just went ahead and put this in off-road mode and never thought of it again. And that's really what it is all about. It's about the versatility. It's not necessarily that more accessories and more farkle is better. It's that more versatility is better. And that's the key here because there's so much this bike can do. You can just be, you could putt around town on it. You could do just adventure touring. You could be an urban escapist. You can go hit the gnarliest stuff off-road you can find. The thing is, the 901 Expedition is ready for all of it and any of it.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and look for the full write-up in ADVMoto on the Norden 901 Expedition.
In the middle of a good juicy climb. I think we already missed the good stuff, but